transportation broker contracted with the state of Maine has been a point of concern for many in Augusta and around the state. Today, MotiveCare spoke with the Committee on Health and Human Services about their current status ahead of a bill that could make it easier for consumers. Keenan Mills has more from the state's capital.
After years of complaints and filing for bankruptcy last year, the agreement between MotiveCare and the state of Maine has left many lawmakers confused. But on Wednesday, the company says that they have emerged from bankruptcy and are now in an incredibly strong financial position. But some still have questions.
We've heard consistently for years now that people have really challenging experiences using particularly MotiveCare.
The company contracted with the state for 10 years at $750 million for non-emergency transportation services, filed for bankruptcy last August. Now, MotiveCare executives say they are positioned to move forward.
We're now in a position where we can make the investments that are required to be made.
Earlier this month, a group of over 100 bipartisan lawmakers sent a letter to Governor Mills expressing concerns about the agreement after hearing complaints from constituents.
We've, heard many stories of folks who, when they try to make a phone call because of, a stroke-related speech impediment or not being a native English speaker, the phone system hangs up on them.
According to MotiveCare's tracking, their complaint rate is 0.07%, but company executives say even one complaint is too many.
If you are the user of this service and you're in a vulnerable population, or it's your parent or your child who has an issue, it's one issue too many. And so we're intently focused on not only taking our existing rates, which are very exceptional, but improving upon them further.
Lawmakers on the committee say many of the issues stem from people not knowing how to access help, leading to complaints that go unreported.
You'd be blown away if you got the actual numbers. You'd be embarrassed because you're not seeing it. And I can guarantee you this is happening.
Many say the solution is better communication and awareness. Following the hearing, a work session was held for a bill that could potentially establish an ombudsman program, a single source for filing complaints. The committee voted reluctantly against the bill, with consideration to revisit it in a future session. Keenan Mills, WABI News, Augusta.